So, how did your family and friends take your coming out? Did they accept you at first?
I think my friends definitely accepted me. It was hard at first with my friends though, because what my friends did to protect me is if people said that I was gay or said something negative about me, they would lie. They would say, "No, he's not gay. He's just a little feminine." And like, "Oh, he's like," and eventually I had to be like, "You have to stop. Like, don't do that. Don't lie on my behalf, please." I'm also just a very honest person. I don't like lying. It's not really something I do. So to have other people do it for me to protect me, I was kind of like, we got to nip this in the butt. Um, but my friends were very, very welcoming and accepting for sure. And my family um, had some reservations for sure. I'm extra. I'm a very extra person. I came out to some of my family via email. Like I wrote something up. I know, Amanda, laugh, laugh, laugh. I wrote a long email explaining to a couple of my aunts who grew up around me how I identified. And my other family, because I was so politically active and such an advocate for LGBTQ issues, I was in the newspaper basically. I was in the journal news, like, speaking on panels about being Black and gay. And my way to come out to my family was, of course, emailing them the articles. And so I think a lot of people didn't know how to respond to that because it was such a big, big move. It was so extra. It was so extra, so dramatic. But I think putting it in their face like that was definitely like a way to claim that identity and almost even say like, this is what's been going on. Like, this is what I've had to do. I've had to find a network of people who are accepting of me and welcoming and grooming me to be a person that cares about themselves and the community. um, so it's definitely been much. I want to say it's been like two coming out situations as well, because I had to come out to my family as being queer, and then I had to come out to them as being a drag queen. So that brought on a lot of interesting conversations and issues. It's one thing to come out to your family and have them say very like possibly homophobic things about you, and then coming out as a drag performer and then them saying very transphobic things about you. So I had to really hold fast and hold still in those identities. And I do identify as a cis man out of drag, and I really had to paint a picture to my mom because I was really involved with, again, performing arts, musical theater specifically. So I told my mom, I was like, this is like any other show you've been to, any other show that you've seen me perform, whether that was West Side Story or Little Shop of Horrors. I get to go into a space, I get to create this persona, this character. I go to these spaces and I perform and I have a great time. I'm treated like a celebrity in some places, and I get paid for it. And I love it and I'm good at it. So this is what it is, honey. You can jump on, or you can be mad, but I'm doing this. This is definitely something that's bringing in like all of my passions, and you can't stop me.
I love that. So it looks like you're like working. You mostly work with elementary school students. What's their response to Drag Queen Story Hour?
So with Drag Queen Story Hour, I do work mainly with younger kids. Um, their response to Drag Queen Story Hour is interesting. I feel like it's a to me, the younger the kid, the more free thinking they are, you know? In addition to being a drag queen, I'm a dance teacher. And I think the perfect parallel of that is when I'm teaching my really young kids movement, sometimes I make them go across the floor and do a sassy model walk, right? You get a young kid to do a model walk, oh, you can't tell them nothing. They are feeling it. They're like catching the wind. They're so confident. You can't tell them nothing. But I think as youth age, they become a little bit more insecure, a little bit more, things are more internalized. They have had a lot of things bombarded on them about their looks, their shape, their size, their hair, their personality. Hormones are going, and there a lot of people become a little withdrawn. So that's something I find really interesting as a dance teacher. Is the younger you are, the more free thinking you are, the more free you are, the more celebratory you are. You haven't had the world bombarding you with ideas about who you need to be. And I feel like the older generation, like tweens and teenagers, they can be a little bit more reserved. So I think comparing that to reading with kids and being a drag queen around kids, they see me and they're excited. They're curious. They're like, I like your jewelry. I like your hair. Can I touch it? Like your eye. It's they want to explore. They're touching my huge heels. They're like, what size are you? This is a big foot. Like they're definitely curious, and they love the sparkle, the colors. They're just excited with something different than what they're usually seeing. And I think that's really important, is that if you are from um, a specific kind of household, you might not get to see a lot of diversity, right? Like I know growing up, Yonkers or even the city, it's so diverse. You get to see so many people, so many different kinds of people who practice different religions, people who different traditions, but a lot of people don't get to experience that. So I think with working with young kids, it's been so fun. They literally say whatever is on their mind, and there's just an honesty there that and curiosity that I really really love. And I definitely gel well with the youngins. Definitely.
Okay, first I'm gonna say that I 100% agree with you on what you said about teaching elementary kids. And me and my mother said that you're really beautiful.
Hey mama, thank you, love.
You're welcome. So I guess the last question is, what advice can you give LGBTQ youth who are feeling isolated at home because of the pandemic and everything?
Ooh. I've thought a lot about this actually. I think when I found the LGBT Center Lane for me, it opened up so many doors. So first and foremost, I want to say it's so important to find like your tribe. Even though I grew up with family, all around me, and grew up in the church, it was incredible finding people who were like me, who were queer, who had maybe similar experiences that I had, but just a place where it wasn't taboo or frowned upon to be myself. So first and foremost, that. And virtually, I know like right now everything is virtual, so it is hard. Um, so I think it's important to find organizations that offer maybe virtual support groups. I know I feel like the Yes Center does, the center in Manhattan does. I know Center Lane does. There's so many organizations now that things are kind of virtually focused. You can totally find different organizations where you can connect with people like yourself, your tribe, and your generation is the internet group, right? So like I know it's not always the first thought to like check online to find a support group, but I think it's awesome to, even if you get to link up with someone who's in your school or your neighbor or something as a support system, and find someplace that y'all can go together virtually or safely. I think it's important to find spaces where you can still see and get support. And some places actually have in-person stuff still. I know at least that they, maybe directors or counselors are still seeing people one-on-one. So I know that reaching out and finding, um, I guess I would call them a specialist or a counselor or um, a youth counselor that can gear you in the right direction or point you in the right direction. I definitely know that you can totally find support and your group, your fam, totally.
Absolutely, absolutely. So I was just thinking of a question. I know you're reading books to elementary students. I have a 1.5-year-old. What is your favorite book? Because my wife and I are constantly buying her books, and like, what is your favorite book? What should I buy for her?
My favorite book is Rooster Wore Skinny Jeans.
I love it.
Rooster Wore Skinny Jeans. First and foremost, it's really vibrant with colors and everything rhymes. And it's very today and perfect for this world right now because this rooster basically is obsessed with fashion and orders a pair of skinny jeans. They clearly have a little shopping excessiveness, totally, which I know a lot of us can relate to, right? And this rooster basically puts on their jeans. They're feeling it. They're feeling their fantasy. They know they look good. And they go to the other farm animals and they're showing them like, oh, my farm animal friends will love these jeans. And that's not what happens at all. You see all the side eye. Everyone's like, oh no, that's not it, sis. And exactly, they're just like, it's the jeans for me. And and basically eventually the rooster like runs away, is upset, and then they get a glimpse of themselves in the mirror. And they're like, oh, I bought these jeans for me and I look good. And they kind of own it, and there's confidence there. There's a moment where the rooster really sees themselves and identifies that, like, you know, they might not like these jeans, but I bought them for me and I look good in them, so I'm going to sport them and rock them. And because of the rooster's like confidence, one of the farm animals is like, oh, okay, I see you. Like, I kind of like I love that, this confidence. And then all the animals in the farm basically like chime in, and they're so excited for them all of a sudden. For me, I'm like, what happened to that energy in the beginning? That energy should have been there in the beginning. But I think it's such a fun, silly, cute book, and it teaches that it's important for you to just be yourself, dress the way you want. I know as a teenager, I was always so hyper aware of how I looked and if I really felt seen in my body and my clothing. And I think it's a cute little book that teaches confidence and to just own it.
I love that. I love that. What a great story.